What are some of your favorite experiences as an artist?
Let's see. In Denver, one of my favorite things I did in Denver that I thought was really fun is the Damien Hirst exhibit at the MCA. They had a huge bash, and that was really fun to be with a bunch of art patrons that love modern contemporary art, non-safe art as I call it. That was one of the highlights of Denver art. And then this was a job, but I can't tell you how valuable it was working for, she has passed away, but a Denver, New York artist, Jolyn Dewsbury. I was her studio assistant. That was an amazing experience. And meeting Christo, when Christo came to Denver. Oh, recently I reached out to an artist that I learned about her work in California, Chamomile Hickson, and she goes by Molly, but she was in Aspen for the Aspen Ideas Festival, and I was there dropping off paintings. And I noticed she was there, so I sent her a note via Instagram, and she answered back, and we ended up hanging out for a cocktail, and then we've helped each other with our art recently. So it's a nice friendship that just emerged.
Can you walk us through your process? Do you begin with a sketch or do you just jump in?
Well, it depends on what I'm painting. A lot of times I just jump in, especially if I'm staining a canvas or pour to get the basis of my painting. I spend some time re-gessoing canvases and then mix my paints, and I'll do a pour and kind of see what organically happens and start painting intuitively from there. If I'm doing representational work, then I'll draw. But for instance, I went to, they were beautiful this summer in Michigan. I went to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we went to this area called Painted Rock, and we approached them via kayaks and took a ton of pictures. So I've been working on a series from that vacation, and what I do is I look at the photograph and do a charcoal drawing, and then I apply the paint. So it just depends on the subject matter. If it's more representational, I use a drawing, and otherwise if it's more expressionistic, I don't even worry about it. I just pour the paint and see where it takes me.
How long do you spend on one painting? How do you know when it's finished?
Well, how long do I spend on a painting? That's a great question. Picasso would say however old he was. So, do I want to tell my age right now? 51 years. And the reason being is it's a cumulative effect of all your experiences as an artist and a human being. So it does take a long time. However, I spend anywhere from 1 hour to 100 hours on a painting. If I'm in the studio painting consistently, like I should be, I could just crank out art. I think one of my weaknesses is starting and stopping. And if I'm out of the studio for a week or two, I really struggle. If I'm in the studio for 30 days, I can paint quickly, more confidently. Even my mark making is better. So it's just a hard question to answer. Yeah, so from 1 to 100 hours or 51 years.
And then I guess how do you know when it's finished?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So how do I know when a painting's finished? There is a great communication between the artist and the painting. The painting, and the more I do it, I think I've been painting professionally for 20 years now, it gets easier and easier. So there's a dialogue I have with the painting, and the painting kind of helps me, lets me know what I need to do. And when we stop having communication, I feel that the painting's finished. And then it moves out of my studio and to the world, and it's my patrons or viewers begin the communication process with it. But I feel like I've birthed it when the painting and I stop talking with one another.
If you couldn't be an artist, what would you do?
Well, I'm going to make myself vulnerable here. I wanted to be a soap opera actress when I was little, but I never took any drama in school or pursued acting whatsoever. So that's kind of off the table now. I love to coordinate and organize, and I did do architecture and design for a good 12 years. So probably general contractor, doing something with architecture and design, interiors, running projects, which may lead me to public art one day. It's on my list, and now that all my kids are gone, maybe I'll get into the world of public art, because there's a tremendous amount of coordination that goes, collaboration, organization with doing a public art project.